All right, let's get to the ESPN Football Power Index, which came out yesterday. It dropped yesterday. And the Football Power Index, I mean, it's a cumulative kind of algorithmic stat or ranking, I should say, more than anything, but they do use stats. So here is it's a power rating that tracks each team's strength relative to an average FBS squad. Teams are rated on offense, defense, and special teams with the values representing points per game. So essentially, the rating is how many points per game you are better than the average team, who they deem as whatever this algorithm deems as average. So let's look at what the FPI, at least their ranking for the top teams in college football who have the best odds to win the national championships. Kind of what this thing is kind of based on, your championship odds too. They do the championship odds. Team with the best championship odds based on FPI, 20.7%, the Georgia Bulldogs. Second, the team with the second best odds based on the FPI, Oregon, to win the national title. They're at 12.9%. And then third, team with the third best FPI odds to win the national title, your Texas Longhorns at 11.7%. They are ahead of the Ohio State Buckeyes, surprisingly, at 10.2%. Those are the only teams with double-digit percentages to win the national championship based on the Football Power Index. Then next you have Bama, and then there's Penn State. They got with the sixth best odds. And then there's Notre Dame with the seventh best odds, then Oklahoma 8, Tennessee with ninth best odds, and Florida State 10th best odds to win the national title. Now, this may not necessarily be the ranking for the FPI. That also changes because best odds based on the FPI can be different than their actual ranking. So here's the actual FPI ranking. Georgia number 1, Oregon 2, Texas 3, Ohio State 4, Bama 5, Penn State 6, Notre Dame 7, Oklahoma 8, there's your Sooners, Tennessee 9, Missouri 10, Florida State 11, Michigan 12, LSU 13, A&M 14. A&M, yes, it says here A&M overall 14. So this is, so the Aggies at 14. That's pretty high for the Aggies, actually. That's higher than I thought the Aggies would be. See, the algorithms, I would say, because SP Plus likes the Aggies too. The SP Plus, I believe the Aggies were 15th in the SP Plus stat, which is also a cumulative stat. So, yeah. I mean, they said really high on the Aggies and higher on the Sooners. So they got the Sooners and the Aggies as top 15 in the Football Power Index.
Yeah. I mean, I think we can say Texas and Oklahoma, there is still somewhat of a curve of going to the SEC and seeing how they respond into that environment, playing there every single week. There's still way to see how that is. But I'm very curious when you see Oregon ranked that high and Penn State, like the fact you're merging two conferences that are so diametrically opposed to each other, and that the Big Ten was so much about defense and had teams that could not score, but just imposing defenses. And then you add in the Pac-12 who couldn't guard anybody whatsoever, but play great play great offense. I just don't know what that conference is going to be and how it shakes out until you start to see some of those games and you see a couple matchups of a USC versus Iowa or something like that. A matchup where you go, okay, now I have a better judge of what Pac-12 versus Big Ten looks like. It's just going to be hard. So if like an Oregon team, that team could either dominate the conference because they just play decent enough defense to teams that don't have any offense, and they can still put up 20 points. Yeah, or right. You see that these defensive teams start to have offense because they're playing against, teams they can walk through like a hot knife through butter.
Yeah, I can't wait. That's a great point because I can't wait to see, because think about the teams that you do have merging into these power conferences, like you said, USC and Oregon and Washington.
Yeah.
These are prolific offenses. So we'll get to see but they're coming from a conference that everybody thought was a weak conference, right? Because it's just all offense.
Yeah.
The Big 12's got the same reputation, even though we know the Big 12 is more competitive, but it's got the same reputation nationally. And now it's going into the physical line of scrimmage league that is the SEC. And you got Texas and Oklahoma, the best two football programs, and I know we can debate on who won the most, but I'm talking about just talent and resources. Texas and Oklahoma are, they are the two blue bloods of the Big 12, and you got them going into the SEC, and then you got, like you said, all those prolific offenses of the Pac-12 now going into the Big Ten, which is a kind of an old school 3 yards in a cloud of dust defensive league. We're gonna see if the Big Ten and the SEC have been a little overrated. If these teams immediately from the Pac-12 and the Pac-12 and the weak Big 12, all right, which are not considered well-rounded, complete football teams. Right? I say, oh no, Pac-12 is just offensive teams because Lincoln Riley don't give a damn about defense, and the Big 12, the Big 12 is all offense, and it's all about the prolific spread league, and they don't play any defense there. If you can see these programs, which are powerhouse blue blood programs, go from what are considered weak leagues to go into the toughest leagues and have immediate success and then sustain that success, then maybe it is true that the Big Ten and the SEC were a little overrated in the end.
Yeah, and or you see the flip of that, and these teams.
Yeah, you see exactly where
and those teams come in and they can't acclimate, and you go, okay, no, they were right.
It is a tougher brand of football.
So
yeah, exactly.
It could go either way.
Yeah, we'll know. I think, and maybe it'll be a little bit of both. But I think we will have at least more clarity on that conversation at the end of this college football season and going, yeah, honestly, the Big Ten's a little overrated. They just don't. Nobody plays any damn offense in that damn league. And now you finally see some teams with an offense. Their defenses don't look so great. And maybe the SEC is not as physical as they thought because Oklahoma came in there and Texas came in there and started smacking them in the mouth. And they came from a Big 12 culture and ecosystem. Man, good conversation. All right, well, I want to get to some more highlights from this football power index. So if you're looking at the biggest games based on the football power index combined ratings, they have the top game. They combine like I said, the FPI of both of these teams that they bring up. Georgia at Texas and Georgia at Alabama are the two biggest games based on FPI of the season. Then Ohio State at Oregon. Except they combine the FPIs. Then Ohio State at Penn State. Then Texas at Oklahoma. So Texas in 2 of the top 5. This is the top 5 biggest games. And they have Oregon at Michigan, Alabama at Oklahoma, and then Texas at Michigan on here as well. So, man, they got Oklahoma in a lot of big games. Oklahoma does have a lot of big games. They got Oklahoma. You got Texas, Oklahoma. Then you got Alabama at Oklahoma. Then also on here, Tennessee at Oklahoma is also on this. Is Oklahoma at Missouri, Oklahoma at LSU. Oklahoma is actually on this list, top 20 list of the biggest games, more than Texas is. Texas is on here 4 times. Georgia at Texas, top of the list. Texas at Oklahoma, also here in the top 5. They have also Texas at Michigan in the top 10, and then Texas at Texas A&M. They also have on this list as well, but. That is, so they got Oklahoma in a lot of big games this year. We'll see if Oklahoma underachieves their offensive line. Nobody knows what they're bringing back on their line because they lost everything on their line.
No,
you lost everything on their line, lost your quarterback, OC, and DC.
Yeah.
So
we know that offense is going to be drinking through a fire hose.
Yeah, I think they're going to try to run something similar to what they ran with Jeff Lebby because Seth Luttrell coming in there. But
yeah,
everybody's going to be new. I know Jackson Arnold played, but in terms of the O-line, that's a lie. Their wide receivers, though, are going to be legit. Oklahoma wide receivers, they possibly could have one of the best wide receiving cores that Texas will face all year. Yeah. Their wide receivers are legit.
Yeah.
So that's one thing they want to worry about in that offense. They're good at wide receiver. O-line could be an issue. Quarterback could be an issue. Offensive coordinator could be an issue. Wide receiver, they're fine. They're okay there. All right. I think that's it. Also, if you look at based on the FPI, they have the odds to end up basically getting a bye as well. The teams that are most likely to end up getting a bye. And they have Oregon's at the top of that list with the teams most likely to get a bye. And like I said, this is a little bit different than just the ranking. They're looking at the situation and who you play and all of that. So odds of the first round by Oregon with the best odds, then Georgia, then Ohio State, then Texas. Remember, there are 4 byes. in the new college football playoff. The 4 highest ranked conference champs on the committee's list, and thus earn an all-important bye into the second round of the bracket. So there you go. All right, that's the FPI. Longhorns are ranked 3rd overall in the Football Power Index. Like I said, Aggies are 14th, Sooners are 8th on that list. Let's hit this prediction out. There's a guy, SEC Mike. He does YouTube, and he's with, I think, that SEC podcast is the podcast that he does. And it actually do decent work. But he was on the Paul Feinbaum show, and he made a prognostication that had my man Paul Feinbaum speechless. I'll just let you hear it for yourself.
I think Texas A&M finishes better than Texas this year in the SEC. Tell me I'm wrong.
I just have to hear that one more time. You just got through saying to us that Texas A&M will finish higher than the University of Texas.
Yeah. Give me both around probably 9-3, 10-2 type, but I think it's the difference is going to be in College Station late in the season, last game of the regular season, the game that that state's been waiting over a decade plus for. The fact it's in College Station, I like the edge Texas A&M. I think Texas is severely overrated because of what they did in the Big 12 last year.
Okay. Wow. That is one of the longest pauses that I've ever heard in the talking format.
You're not supposed to have dead air. Dead air. There's a reason we laughed over it. We laughed over it solely to not have as blatant of dead air for 11 seconds. And the best is Paul doesn't break it.
No, because Paul
waits for him to say something.
You're right. He's so stupefied. He's like, I can't believe this guy came on my show and said such nonsense. You have delegitimized my brand here, man. You have come on here with this. I don't listen to Paul Feinbaum live. I've never heard him with dead air like that.
And I saw the video of him, though. He has like all the SEC helmets and everything, but then he had the 12th man talent. I was like, there it is. There it is. I thought he was a little bit more, maybe he believes it. It's not a lie if you believe it. Maybe he actually believes that. Yeah. And if he does, I'm not going to hate on this. This is why. Because Vegas has the Aggies favored over Notre Dame. They got him favored, I believe, over LSU. They got him favored over Auburn. I mean, they got the Aggies favored in a lot of games, guys. And listen, they don't play it's not really a really tough schedule. It's the SEC, it's tough schedule. But they avoid Bama. They ain't got to play Bama. They ain't got to play Georgia. They avoid some of the heavy hitters in the SEC. And we went over this before, guys. They're favored. Vegas thinks they're going to be an 8 or 9-win team around there. If Texas is a 9-win team, then that's a disappointment for Texas. But I don't think Longhorn fans have entertained the possibility of the Aggies being good when they play them. And it's possible. I think it'll be good. It is also funny, though. Like, I will bring up, he goes, well, that's going to be, they're playing at College Station. That'll be edge. And you just want to go, I get that. But if we look at history, the last 2 times they met, both teams went on the road.
Yeah. Oh, no. Yeah.
That doesn't give you that edge.
Like I said, that is the wildest prediction I've heard about the college football season so far. And it's related to Longhorns. But yeah, I mean, the Aggies are favored. They play Missouri. They're favored versus Missouri. They play LSU. They're favored versus LSU. They're favored at Auburn. They're favored over Notre Dame. I mean, rest of the games. As I'm saying, Vegas really likes them. And like I said, the SP Plus likes them. And, we just read the FPI. They like the Aggies. I think the Aggies are a top 15 team. They got the same amount of 5-star players on their roster as Texas at 8. So, we'll see. People like what Mike Elko is doing. We'll see if they like it enough for the Aggies to be considered better than the Longhorns, to finish better than the Longhorns in the SEC. That would be shocking. I would be shocked if that happens. And Longhorn fans would be disappointed and angry if that was the case their first year in the SEC. All right, we come back. We'll